November 26, 2024 Daily Bread. 1 Kings, chapter 5, verse 1 through 18. Key verse 5. Title, A Temple for the Lord. When Hiram, king of Tyre, heard that Solomon had been anointed king to succeed his father David, he sent his envoys to Solomon, because he had always been on friendly terms with David. Solomon sent back this message to Hiram. You know that because of the wars waged against my father David from all sides, he could not build a temple for the name of the Lord his God until the Lord put his enemies under his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side, and there is no adversary or disaster. I intend, therefore, to build a temple for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord told my father David, when he said, Your son, whom I will put on the throne in your place, will build the temple for my name. So give orders that cedars of Lebanon be cut for me. My men will work with yours, and I will pay you for your men whatever wages you set. You know that we have no one so skilled in felling timber as the Sidonians. When Hiram heard Solomon's message, he was greatly pleased and said, Praise be to the Lord today, for he has given David a wise son to rule over this great nation. So Hiram sent word to Solomon, I have received the message you sent me, and will do all you want in providing the cedar and juniper logs. My men will haul them down from Lebanon to the Mediterranean Sea, and I will float them as rafts by sea to the place you specify. There I will separate them, and you can take them away. And you are to grant my wish by providing food for my royal household. In this way, Hiram kept Solomon supplied with all the cedar and juniper logs he wanted. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cores of wheat as food for his household, in addition to 20,000 baths of pressed olive oil. Solomon continued to do this for Hiram year after year. The Lord gave Solomon wisdom, just as he had promised him. There were peaceful relations between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty. King Solomon conscripted laborers from all Israel, 30,000 men. He sent them off to Lebanon in shifts of 10,000 a month, so that they spent 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Solomon had 70,000 carriers and 80,000 stonecutters in the hills, as well as 3,300 foremen who supervised the project and directed the workers. At the king's command, they removed from the quarry large blocks of high-grade stone to provide a foundation of dressed stone for the temple. The craftsmen of Solomon and Hiram and workers from Byblos cut and prepared the timber and stone for the building of the temple. Daily Bread Message. God established Solomon firmly on the throne of the nation of Israel. When Hiram, king of Tyre, heard this, he sent envoys to Solomon. He had been on friendly terms with Solomon's father, King David. Hiram had provided timber in the past so that David could build a palace for himself. Thus, Hiram wanted to continue friendly relations with Solomon. This reminded King Solomon of God's promise to David about building a temple. So he asked Hiram for assistance in cutting timber. Hiram, despite being a pagan, really agreed to help build the temple. This would be Solomon's expression of thanksgiving to the Lord his God for all he had done for him and the nation of Israel. Solomon spared no expense in building the temple. He furnished King Hiram with copious amounts of wheat and olive oil in exchange for cedar and juniper logs. He also conscripted laborers from all Israel to help with carrying and cutting stone. Solomon, in his God-given wisdom, was able to maintain peaceful, friendly relations with the nation of Tyre and to involve the whole nation in the building of the temple to the Lord. Prayer. Father, thank you for the wisdom you gave to King Solomon. Bless us that we may build temples in our hearts to you. One word, build a temple to the Lord in your heart.